What is this?
Which part?
Where are we?
Oh, I was walking around in the studio and this guy had this set up, and I was like, oh my God, we should totally go in there. Look at how cool that is.
This is the Ben and Skin YouTube channel. I hope you've been very aware of it. It's been almost inactive for a while.
We've been working on this for decades.
You know, I do think we have one of the greatest interviews in the history of our show, the Ian Kinsler, Michael Young stuff.
It was, I think, my favorite just because it was so sprawling and got into so many topics, and it was so long, and they were just so damn likable.
God, it was so much fun. And it's got 4 views for some reason. The algorithm hates us.
And you watched it 4 times, didn't you?
So, look, we are Ben and Skin. I'm Ben, he's Skin. He's popping a Rollertown 133. Tell everyone about that beer.
I call this a parking lot pills. This is like what you want to drink when you're tailgating. It is a premium Pilsner. This probably means more to my immediate family than you, but this is the kind of beer Uncle Mike would drink. It's just a badass pills, perfect for tailgating. And then, I mean, describe the can, Ben.
Tailgating's what you call following attractive women at a bar, right?
Yeah, big old tailgating.
The can is awesome. It's a tribute to Section 133.
Yeah.
Out at the ball yard.
You know what's fun is drinking in the afternoon.
I'm drinking Rollertown Light. You know, we used to have a beer called Rollertown Light.
Light, spelled L-A-T. Rollertown Light.
So,
cheers, dog.
Yeah. Cheers. Let's drink some cold beer.
What have you been up to?
So good when it hits your lips.
We can say shit, right?
Yeah, we can cuss.
That's cool.
We can cuss. We just can't say the fuck word.
Okay. Wait, what is the fuck word?
I'm just saying.
That specific word.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Don't cuss.
Yeah, don't say fuck.
Okay, so there's a lot of things to talk about. First of all, we got to talk Dallas Mavericks basketball.
Oh, my God.
We got to talk about what's been going on with the Freak. I hear that's been in the news.
I don't think the Freak is around anymore.
We got to talk about Zeke.
Freak the Zeke.
So it's Mavs, Freak, and Zeke. And
I like it.
I actually have a dog pee problem.
It's your problem.
At the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it your dog?
My marriage.
There's
another dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little bit of an odd situation. And it's so weird. This is my wife doesn't have great situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now is a bad time for her to like be mad at me and give me the silent treatments like if we're going through one of the worst moments ever.
Right.
But now is where she wants to wage her battle and plant her flag.
Oh, you're depressed? Watch this.
Yeah.
She does a PJ Washington
Yeah.
on. She's like, B-boy stand.
So yeah, we got a couple different things to get into, and we figured, why the hell not? Like, we love doing this show.
Yeah.
I know that you look up to me a tremendous amount, and you need me for guidance in your life, and you find me to be appealing to your eyeballs. I don't know. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself if we weren't here talking about sports.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, where's Ben? I need to find him and talk sports. But the thing is that, and we'll talk about the Freak thing. I mean, we've said this publicly, and it's devastating, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit to the extent that we can. Like, there's certain things that we can say and certain things that we can't say, and that goes for everybody on the station. And we don't want to speak for anybody. All we want to do is speak for ourselves, and we will do that. But like yesterday, Game 4 of Mavs Clippers, and I'm not working it because it's an ABC game, and I'm there, and you and I are texting, and all I can think about is we got to go talk about this when we can. So our buddy Joshua let us come out here, and he said, oh, my God, I can put logos on a screen, and he did it. So now we're here, and we're going to talk Mavs Clippers.
Yeah, and so it's going to be kind of like I know we have a menu of items that we're gonna go through, so it's almost like a little video version of what we like to do. But let's dive in with a little Mavs talk. And
it's a really good beer.
I was shocked at the way this game started. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Was it 39-16 after one or something like that?"
Yeah, I can look it up. Hold on.
I think it was 39-16
after the first quarter.
And I was like, it's a weird strategy to not show up and try hard.
Well, okay. So I felt like, we have 4 games. Game 1 and Game 4 are the most similar in terms of how they started, and those are the games without Kawhi. Games 2 and 3 were defensive struggles. I don't want to say struggle like for both teams, but when the Mavericks struggled defensively, they were great defensively, and it made the game a struggle for the offenses. And then the Clippers had to contend with no Kawhi Leonard or compromised Kawhi Leonard. That totally played into the Mavericks' advantage. I was having discussions with a lot of media people before the game, and I thought the Mavericks would win the game, but I was like, the Clippers, this is going to be their best offensive game without Kawhi Leonard because they're further into the series, and they don't have to worry about Kawhi and getting him acclimated, and you have two ballers that can get you buckets that are going to go full throttle. And they exceeded all expectations. They shot over 60% from three for the game, which I don't know what it was at halftime, but it was an extraordinary number. And the Mavericks weren't making buckets, and I'm sure we'll talk about Luka's health. It certainly seemed compromised. But that's one of those games where it's like, I think the Mavs were trying. Like, those dudes were making ridiculous shots. And once it's Indiana Jones, dude, once that giant boulder's going down a hill, you ain't going to stop it.
Man, the way I feel about it is it's almost like when they try to force Kawhi in that Paul George and James Harden aren't as assertive as they can be.
Right.
And so when he's gone, maybe that allows them just to go ham.
It does. I think it does.
Paul George is so nice. Like, I just love his game. Everything he does is smooth.
Yeah.
He just makes the game look easy.
Yep.
To be that tall, to have handles like that, to be able to shoot like he can. I love his game. I'm not mad at him. I think he was 7 of 10 from three-point range. Harden, I hate.
Yeah.
He's a flop god, sticking his foot out to draw fouls. And there's a lot of different elements to talk about. Kyrie was insane.
So did I see this right? I think he had 2 points in the first quarter, and then 38 after that? What did he finish with? He
40.
finished with 40. So he had 38 after the second quarter. And his ability – so there's going to have to be adjustments going on with Kyrie and Luka depending on how healthy is Luka. Luka talked about it. I love the way he said it. He didn't use it as an excuse. But you can watch him, and anytime there's a hard fall on that knee, you're like, oh, crap, here we go. Because it's been bothering him. And it's like, okay, now he's legitimately feeling pain. But it's reflected in his numbers. And still, it's 29, 10, and 10. It's an extraordinary number. It's a triple-double. But it's still below his average, and he's still not hitting his three, and he's clearly laboring. That happens in playoffs. It becomes more difficult to score, but it's obvious he's compromised. And we got to know to what degree or ponder to what degree. But it's not an excuse. They don't have Kawhi Leonard, who, when he's healthy, is a top 5 player in the league. Like, he hadn't been healthy in a long time. So I'm not making excuses, but I think there's going to have to be an adjustment in Game 5 to where they may need to just the second half Kyrie start the game like that.
I agree. That's my number one thing. I think the reason Kai is so much better in the second half is because he's basically acquiescing. He's saying, "Hey, Luka, it's your team, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's your team. When you need me, I'm over here." But I think they need him now because Luka is compromised, whatever he's dealing with the injury. I think they just come out like say, "Hey, this is all you, Kai. Let him go nuts."
Right.
I mean, you might need a 60 bomb from him. I don't know, but it's like the Clippers aren't even really worried about Luka right now. And it's not like Luka is creating a ton on his own anyways. Like, I saw them leaving Luka at times to go double Kai, and I'm like, that's Luka.
Yeah.
He scored 73 in a game. They're leaving him, and it's bizarre. I hate it for him. I hate it for him because I know how competitive he is. Is there definitive information on the injury, or is it Bermuda Triangle?
I haven't seen anything definitive. Now, we've been kind of locked away all day. We're recording this Monday afternoon, and so there's a chance that some news has come out that I'm unaware of. I saw the stuff after last night. I talked to a few people, and I didn't hear anything definitive other than his knee is bothering him. That's like basically all I heard. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be really hard for them to win and continue on. Like, okay, I'm looking at this going, okay, is this kind of the way he is for the playoff stretch? Like, is this what he's going to be? Because then it becomes way more difficult for them to have any sort of a deep run if Luka's compromised. He's still, again, 29, 10, and 10. We're not sitting here going, oh, my God, Luka's trash. Right. It's not like that. But in that game was extraordinary. That would have been the best comeback in playoff history. It would have tied, I think it was Golden State one year or something. Clippers, Golden State. I can't remember exactly what. Followell was telling me something. But 31 point would have been the biggest in what they call the play-by-play era. Now, they took the lead at 105-104, and they ended up losing the game. And so what a lot of people I saw, I don't know how much you saw online, we're talking about, is blaming Jason Kidd for not having Gafford or Lively out on the floor at the end. How did you feel about that?
I do. I want to talk to you about that. I do want to ask a question, though. When the Mavericks took the lead, was it on the heavenly layup? Was the layup that Kai made with
Okay.
3 dudes on him? And there
Yeah.
was 6 hands and 6 arms up above him, and he like levitated in the air and just out floated them, and then had the little layup floater.
I thought that was earlier in
Okay.
the second half, but I do want to say this about my viewing experience so that I may not be as on point as I normally am because we didn't do the game. So I showed up and I was going to stand in the tunnel where some of the Mavs front office and some security people stand. It's like kind of right where we broadcast. So I was like, I'll just stand there. And it's not the best angle, right? And I didn't want to be like, hey, it's me. Let me stand in front of you guys. So I was kind of playing the back. And then one of our buddies who has one of these suites back there was like, dude, go sit in my seats on the front row. So that's when you texted me. I had walked out there. And so I was there from about the final couple minutes of the first quarter to the end of the half, and then about 7 or 8 minutes in the third. And then when they got it down to like 7, they're like, get the hell out of those seats, Skin. We're coming through. So I was back to the tunnel. So certain things aren't as crystal clear to me as they normally would be. I thought that they took the lead on a Kai layup with his right hand, but I can't remember exactly.
So, yes, the whole defensive strategy down the stretch was strange. First of all, it was strange to me how Luka kept getting matched up with James Harden, and I think he had 5 fouls, and I'm like, he can't do anything. Like, why would – and maybe they switched to make it happen, and there's nothing Mavericks could do. They just kept getting trapped in it, but I hated seeing Luka with 5 fouls having to try to guard a flop god.
Yeah.
And so
it puts you in a tough position.
Puts you in a tough position. And so if Harden's going to be able to get around Luka and Luka just has to olay because there's nothing he can do, he doesn't want to get his 6th foul, I would have liked to have had a shot blocker back there, but I know they go into this thing where they go small and Maxi's out there and it's been effective. But the way that if the Mavs are going small, it's like the minute anybody – the Clippers are really good about dumping the ball and having an easy bucket for their center. So it's like
it was not the best defensive effort for the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. That's for sure. They were way better in games 2 and 3.
Like
and
you can never leave Zubats. It's like the minute you leave him, he's got an easy layup because everyone's good at passing.
Right.
They just pass the ball right around you, and he's got a layup. So once Harden gets past somebody, you're cooked. And Jay Kidd was saying, well, no, we needed that more than we wanted him shooting contested threes.
I think he meant just open threes in general. I think I can't speak for him. I think he was trying to communicate is we felt like if we had one of the bigs out there, they would have gotten switches and rotated until someone had an open 3.
Okay. All right.
That's what I think. Now, this is the interesting thing about coaching criticism in any sport is, okay, what they didn't work. And so now we're talking about the alternate universe with the assumption that, okay, but if he had done this, it would have worked. And it may not have. I think to Kid's point, all right, well, they may have gotten some open threes because what happened was they were swapping buckets, and that's all fine and good until you don't get your buckets. They scored every time down, and the Mavericks did not, right? So the Mavericks crawled all the way back. They they got up 105-104, and then got outscored 12-6 for the remainder of the game. And I get it, like, especially with the frequency with which Harden was getting around, and he got around P.J. Washington, if I recall, a couple times too. The frequency with which he was doing that and hitting that little floater, maybe you needed to change something up. I get that, but I think you have to be careful when you get angry. Just putting Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford out there necessarily wouldn't have won you the game. Now, I think it's fair to criticize what didn't work, but ultimately what happened was the Mavericks didn't score at the end, and the Clippers did. They were trading buckets. They were going at it, and then when they got under a minute and a half or 2 minutes, the Mavericks didn't get their buckets, and the Clippers did.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that they got down by 31, and that's kind of the lesson of the day. Don't get down by 31, but still with a hurt Luka, down 31, with the Clippers shooting lights out, the Mavericks still almost won that game. So, I mean, I think it's I think if you're the Clippers, you got to be going, good Lord. We had them down 31 and almost lost that game. So Maybe there's a moral victory in there somewhere. I know no one gets moral victories, but that's pretty impressive to almost win that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was incredible that they came all the way back, and then I'm obviously disappointed because, you win that game, the series is over. The series is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still bullish that they're going to win the series. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but Kyrie was talking about, I guess we need to, I'm trying to remember how he phrased it, relearn what we learned in game one. And that's the thing to keep in mind with all this. These playoff series are hard.
Right.
Mavericks haven't been in a position, where they've go back and think about the Phoenix series they won. I believe that series started 0-2. Pretty sure Dallas lost those first two games. And don't write off James Harden. Don't write off Paul George. Don't act like these guys aren't ballers. They're ballers. So I still feel really good that the Mavericks can win this thing in 6. I would be surprised if Kawhi Leonard comes back in this series. And if he does come back, I'd bring him off the bench.
I think
if I'm the Clippers.
I think for the Mavs, it all comes down to Luka's health.
Great point.
And if he's healthy, they win. If he's not, they don't.
Great point.
And
to a degree, right? Let's
even as you I can already see fast forwarding to the offseason and be like, all right, they lost, but Luka was hurt, so it's and they learned from that. I hope he's not hurt that bad.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this: with what you saw yesterday, okay, and how he still ended up 29, 10, and 10. With what you saw yesterday, if he's that for the remainder of the series, do you still feel like they win the series?
I mean, it's crazy that for a quote unquote down game for him, it was 29, 10, and 10.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Like if he's going to go 1 for 9 from 3 every game, they're in trouble.
That's tough. And then you go into, all right, does everything start flowing through Kyrie the entire game? Right. And then other guys are going to have to step up. Like I was really bullish on Dante Exum going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I honestly don't have a lot of memories of him having a bunch of great contributions. He's had some decent little runs here and there, but I thought he would have a bigger impact than he did. By the way, feel really good with what Derek Jones Jr. gave me yesterday.
Good Lord.
Really good.
Yeah, really good. And again, I'm not down on Luka. I'm worried about Luka.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Like if Luka's healthy, he's the best player on earth. So anyways, I'm not down on him at all. Anyways, we wanted to talk Mavs with you. We didn't want the day to go by with we're not on the radio right now, so
you're not supposed to look at that camera.
I'm looking at that camera.
No,
I won't look at that one.
Do not look at that camera.
One. I'm looking at that one.
See, I don't look at that one.
You can't look at that one.
Are you looking at that one?
I'm looking at that one.
Oh, it's moving.
Yeah,
I just realized the thing's moving the whole time.
Okay, so we got a couple different menu items that we want to talk about. Number 2, we want to talk about the Freak. We're heartbroken over this. We released a statement, and in these situations, you have to be so careful.
Yeah.
It's not like we can go say it.
Because you're a lawyer.
It's not like we can go say anything and everything. And, we have a Facebook group that we're very involved in, and we're in that group. And, some people are like, man, I can't believe you guys haven't commented. Like, how come no one's here commenting? And it's just like, our business is not set up that way. And I saw people say, what? You're okay now, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we have everybody involved has lengthy contracts. And so you just have to be super careful with what you say and don't say. But at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that we're devastated, and we poured our hearts and souls into this. And, we cared very much about it, and we love everybody that was involved with it. So, in a lot of ways, losing the station is like losing a friend or a family member or something. I don't know if it's that much. It's just it's devastating.
It's devastating because of how much all of us put into it, emotionally. Like I think it did. I think it came across the air how much we cared. And I'm not saying me and Ben. Like we can speak for us. We can't speak for Danny or Soroy or Reiner or Julie or KT or Christina. We can't speak for those folks. We can speak for us. We were heavily emotionally involved in the Freak. Like we cared so much to the extent of that dude put his own financial resources into it. Okay, so we cared. Like we cared a lot. And so there's a lot of moving parts here and a lot of things that people can say on their own, whatever they do or don't want to say. All we want to comment on is how sad we are that it's gone, because we spent a lot of time on it, and we're very invested in it emotionally, in some cases materially. And so it's not easy for us to just go out and talk about it being gone. At the same time, you know, in the world we're in, business is business, and business doesn't have time for your emotion. Business does not care about your emotion. It sounds cruel, but that's a fact of corporate life. And so we are figuring out what's going to happen to us next. We will know soon. And when we know, we'll be able to tell everybody exactly what's happening with us. But right now, all we're able to do is comment on the loss portion of this because it hit us pretty damn hard.
Yeah. It's been really difficult. Although I was thinking, because in the thing I referenced with my wife's taking a big stand right now, wants to like be, you know how sometimes, I don't know if your wife does this, where they get mad at you and you probably have done something horrific that you don't even know. And you're like, wow, she's like not pleasant right now.
Yeah.
She's like,
I'm feeling her energy.
I feel like she's not like, hey, there's a nice way to set that plate down.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, you can tell there's a problem, but you know you're supposed to ask what the problem is, so then you can get in trouble for whatever the problem is. But you don't even really want to go there, so it's just silence between you.
You know there's a problem, so you don't really want to acknowledge it. But since she's not articulating what the problem is, you're just sort of going, you know.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to initiate the articulation of whatever your concerns are.
If you would like to have an uncomfortable discussion, by all means, instigate it. Yeah. But I'm just over here enjoying my life.
And the timing of it, my career is on fire. Like, right now is the time to take that stand.
Wait, what do you think it's about?
I think I know. There's a couple things.
Is it your bad?
Probably. I mean, there's several things it could be.
Is everything that you're thinking it could be your bad?
Well, yeah, it's all my bad.
Nice.
She really doesn't do anything wrong. Well, she does.
She
do
does
some
a lot
things.
wrong,
does
dude.
a lot
I
wrong.
feel like the whole
yeah.
mailman situation is her issue.
You know what's crazy is her watching this. If she fights through all the Mavs content,
no way she's watching this.
She will be the first real communication we've had about this. Her just watching it, going,
dude.
Okay.
So, well, what do you think is happening?
Well, the reason I brought that up is because I wanted to say to her, hey, whatever is wrong right now.
Just look right there.
Honey, whatever is wrong right now between us.
Why are you not taking this seriously? This is not heartfelt.
Now is not the time for you to take this stand. I am engulfed in flames like Kurt Russell in Backdraft, but sexier. And you like that. Oh, sorry, I got off track. No, I know a couple things that could be.
Hold on. Kat, this is Ben's friend Skin. I know he's been ignoring you lately. And I know there's a lot of reasons why you're upset with him. I mean, hell, I got a lot of reasons myself. But there is a lot going on with him right now. And so he will not meet your undisclosed problem halfway. You're going to have to talk to him like he's lobotomy Ben, explain it to him, and then he will figure out how to make it better. It'll probably be involved in him buying you a gift. So just all you got to do, and if you want me involved, fine. I know you've been blowing me up lately.
Hey, what? Let me hear
Don't worry about it. So you just get at me, and I'll help you get this resolved.
Let me hear your example.
Should we take this call from Danny?
Yeah, take that call.
Okay. Oh, he hung up.
What is your example of lobotomy Ben? By the way, Danny called me lobotomy Ben.
He created lobotomy Ben. Well, you created it, but he acknowledged it.
Let me hear your laugh.
It's Goofy, right? Isn't it Goofy from? Which one is? There's Goofy and Pluto.
Shut up.
Okay.
So, anyways, I wanted to say to her, hey, honey, this is the most stressful time of my entire career. This is the worst thing I've ever gone through in my career. But then I realized, as bad as it is, the worst was Bigby. Can we say his name?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
If you want to dance on that guy's grave, go ahead.
I do, man. I want to square dance on it. I want to get dressed up.
Don't want Bigby's grave.
I want to spend a lot of time concentrating on the outfit and the choreography, and I want to dance on his fucking grave.
Yeah,
that was miserable.
He was an evil, gaslighting piece of shit.
Yeah.
So but, in the afterlife, things can go better. or so I'm told. I don't know.
Anyways,
We speculate on the afterlife.
I've spent some time thinking about just how I feel right now, and I'm just still numb, and I'm not ready to talk about it. Like to.
Do you want me to touch your leg under the table?
No, it's just. Anyways, we can't really get into it. Anyways, and so it is what it is. We can only talk about it to the degree we have. Is there anything else we need to say about that?
I want to say this. I have not been online a bunch, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And maybe let me issue an apology. I would like to apologize to you, Kat, that I haven't been online a bunch. Here's the deal. So the station ended, Friday morning. And so you're just walking around, and it's like you're in this crazy state of what the F. And then your phone starts blowing up, and then you get all these text messages. And then in my case, just to make it about me, because I'm very much about me, I had to go to a Maverick game that night, which I very much enjoy doing. It's a great part of my life. I'm not bitching about that. But that's kind of like, okay, I have to pretend like this horrible shit's not happening and go do my job over here. And then I got to the arena, and it was like being a guest at your own funeral and you're not dead yet. Like everyone coming up going, oh, my God, I'm sorry, are you dead? I can't tell if you're dead or not. I'm like, no, I think, am I breathing? I don't know. Do I get to talk to Kyrie tonight? So then you do the game, and then you're like, all right, whew. And then you're just standing in the bar having a drink after the game, and like someone will do this. So the freak, huh? And you're just like, what the fuck, man? I was happy like 2 minutes ago. I was drinking my drink, and I wasn't thinking about bad shit, and now you're right here in my fucking face reminding me of bad shit that happened. So then the next day we had the Bastards of Soul screening, which you've seen the movie. Yeah. So you understand how heavy it is.
Very heavy. And
so at that screening, Danny was there because he's in the movie, and Danny's dealing with this loss as well. And KT had never seen it, so him and Roxy were there. So, and then there was lots of listeners there, and the listeners were awesome. I can't tell you how wonderful those people were. And then while I'm there, I don't want to get too into this, but one of my really good friends that was there had just found out some bad health news about his wife.
Oh, no.
While he's there. And then we sit down and we watch this movie about us losing our good friend tragically. And his widow and baby son, well, now he's a toddler, are sitting right behind us watching the movie. We're 10 minutes into this thing, and me and my wife are like, God, we're already crying. So it's just a heavy emotional day. And then Sunday, I wake up, and I'm still in a fog. And then I went down to the Mav game, and it's an early game to be a spectator. And so I'm saying all of that to give myself an excuse for having not been an online presence. I don't know how much you went into. I have not gone into the Facebook group. And I know I owe all of those people an apology and some attention because they've been such good people and such good listeners. And it was all too much because of the other things that I had going on. And I will go in there, but it's just been a lot to process during this whole thing.
Yeah, I've been in there a lot, just reading, and the support's incredible. And of course, there's also haters
online. What?
It's amazing. Like the first thing I want to say is thank you to all of the loyal supporters, the people who have had our backs. We've had so many loyal listeners who have ridden with us, and from Fox Sports 1190.
There's no listeners from Fox Sports 1190.
To Gribble still is on board with us.
Okay, Gribble was our...
To The Ticket, to Live 105.3, to 105.3 The Fan, to 103.3 ESPN, back to 105.3 The Fan, to 97.1 The Eagle, and then to 97.1 The Freak. We've had people that have been with us on the whole journey. Some people have jumped on along the way, but we've got so many loyal listeners, people who have our back, people that have become dear friends of ours. And I love the authentic connection that our show has. We actually enjoy interacting with listeners. We love having beers with listeners, hanging out. We enjoy that stuff very much from the bottom of our hearts. And so thank you. More than anything, thank you. And for the ones who are disappointed that we can't be as transparent or accessible as we normally are, I just hope you really understand that we just can't do that right now. We're not allowed to do that right now. So,
and let me just say on top of that, really the only thing that we can truthfully express is just we're sad.
Yeah.
Like, we are sad. We can come in here, and I think we do a pretty good job of figuring out ways to make each other laugh and hopefully make people laugh. But, dude, we're sad. This is a tremendous loss for us. And it's not just the 18 months that we were on the air. There was a lot of time. I mean, there was times where I was sick and we were in meetings,
Yeah.
I mean, we went through a lot and we cared, and it means a lot that you guys care. And so I'm for that reason that people care enough to go, well, why can't you tell us anything? All that is their passion. That's really all that is, and we're fortunate that people would give a shit enough to want to know.
Right. Yeah. Okay, a couple more things here.
Is this about the cat thing?
I want to get to that. The Cowboys brought Zeke back.
Dude, finally.
That is Jerry's version of going all in. I'm like, we're going to go all in. We're bringing Zeke back. Zeke.
Okay, so here's another thing that happened. I was not paying attention to the Dallas Cowboys draft because I was too busy feeling sorry for myself
Really?
and thinking about Dallas Mavericks basketball.
Okay, I was thinking about Dallas Mavericks basketball and feeling sorry for myself, but I also wanted to support Jeff Kavanaugh and Kevin KT Turner.
Yes.
And their draft coverage.
Now, I was at the Mavs game
incredible.
Friday night.
It was incredible. Their coverage was incredible. And in the middle of it, I got a phone call from Kavanaugh.
Okay. While he was covering
the draft, while they were on their YouTube. I got a call from Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And I had stopped watching it for a while. I don't know if it was between Cowboys picks or something. And so I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, hey, dang, I didn't think you were going to answer. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I was about to have to text you. I thought you were on my side.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah, they were doing that in the middle of the coverage.
That's good. That's the draft coverage I'm looking for.
That's an example, though, of ways you can support everybody. Like, everybody's got other initiatives and things that they've been doing along the way. And, the Mom Game podcast with Julie and Emily, Kavanaugh's YouTube channel and his incredible Cowboys coverage. KT, did you know KT has a YouTube channel? It was set up as Kevin Turner or something
right?
like that. But
I thought he was doing some yard work.
He's going to be doing some Kevin at 7 stuff, which I think is great.
Okay, I'd like for him to break news every night at 7 o'clock.
Kevin at 7.
I'd be in
it's
on that.
Too good.
Yeah,
it's too good. But
yeah.
A lot of our people are involved in other things. Hell, Dallas Observer Host of the Year Mike Soroy, heavily involved in Twitch over the years.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a shot at playing some Call of Duty with him since we have some time off here.
I don't think he has any time off for you.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Zeke is back, and I think it's really depressing. And he was washed, so you moved on from him, and then you let him go somewhere else, and now things are so dire for you that he got even older and more washed, and you bring him back?
Here's the thing that you're forgetting, okay? At least the offensive line is squared away. Because, if you're not going to have a marquee back, have a lot of uncertainty along your offensive line.
Okay.
I mean, dude, who knows if the guys they drafted can play. The one thing I did follow was that the OU guy's a project.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now it sounds like the guard that they got out of Kansas State that might play center, everyone seems to say that's a huge value pick.
Right.
But and Kavanaugh will bring this up. Everyone was saying Tyler Smith was a project and shitting on him, and he kind of became their second best offensive lineman like in a heartbeat.
Right.
So you don't know until you know. But I was really surprised that they didn't even draft a single running back.
Yeah, I know. I did reach out to a former Cowboy friend of ours with an enormous beard.
Bill Bates.
And I was like, how do you...
Have you seen his beard lately?
How do you...
Beard Bates.
What about this Tyler Guyton guy being a project and yada, yada? He goes, you know who else they said was a project? And I said, who? And he said, me. And he said I was a project, Travis Frederick. And so he's not
really good.
He's not worried about it.
But he realizes a lot of projects don't work out.
Okay, so... One last thing to do on the Ben and Skin YouTube.
Are you looking at the camera?
Channel experience channel. And that is why I think my wife is mad at me.
Okay.
There's one of two things. I have two dramatic things going on in my life. One, we have a very expensive golf cart that we don't use.
I made offer on that.
I went way overboard on this thing. I've decked it out, and then I got mad at the company whose logo was on it, so I redid it again to get rid of their logo.
Yeah.
Like changed the upholstery and all.
Did you put the Oklahoma State colors back on it?
I took those off.
Okay. That was a great decision because of your rich history as an OSU Cowboy.
My wife wanted orange.
Go Pokes.
Orange. Okay, so to sell that, I've had some people reach out to me, but there are people that I know.
Okay.
What?
I know where this is
Where's
going.
it going?
This is a decision on batteries.
Okay. So I've had people reach out to me, and they're like, yeah, I'll buy it. Hell, I'll buy it from you. And I was like, okay, great. Well, let me take it into the shop and make sure that it's good to go.
Right.
Because I don't want anyone ever getting back to me going, hey, man.
It's a deal.
You sold me this lemon.
I want to go on Facebook and go, Ben Rogers is so shisty. He sold me a lemon that he knew. He sold me this old Oklahoma State golf cart he knew was faulty.
So I think, I seriously think when we bought it, it was worth $12,000. And I think I bought it for $10,000. And then we've had it since 2013, 2014, something like that. And then along the way, I redid it all. So I think I spent another like $3,000 or $4,000 on redoing it.
That's good because those things only go up in value.
so anyways, I poured a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And I had a couple friends reach out and wanted to buy it. Friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, great. Well, let me take it into the shop. They're like, can we come get it? I'm like, no. Let me take it to the shop first. So I take it in the shop, and it's like, oh my God. We need a lot of like $2,000 of just tightening bolts.
You gotta as is this shit.
So just that's what she says. But $2,000 to tighten all the bolts, and then by the way, we recommend you buy this $3,000 battery system. But see, the thing is that you don't understand. And so I'm like, I don't want to spend $5,000 on something I'm selling. And so look. So we're in this. She's like, sell it as is. I'm like, I just want it to be a great experience for whoever gets it, and I don't want to have a friend be upset. Anyway, so it could be that.
Mm-hmm.
We got into a little bit of an argument about that, and I said, I think it'd be better for our marriage if we quit talking about this.
Oh, that is very subtly played.
I thought that was smart. No, I'm saying
better for our
marriage,
our
relationship.
Oh, okay.
We just better for our relationship.
Can I ask
we don't agree, and we're just going to keep arguing. We're not ever going to change our minds. I want to fix it before I sell it to someone, and she's like, no, sell it as is. We are both dug in. Just debating this over and over is not healthy.
No, I agree with that. Now, where on the timeline of devastation did you issue that proclamation? Was it before the freak got blown up?
That was Friday night.
Oh, shit.
So she's doing
after the Cowboys did not help you on your second-round pick?
And then, so that's one issue.
But does spit on you?
I'm not sleeping in our bed right now.
What?
Also.
Are you sleeping in some other bed or
some
other gal?
I have a very attuned sense of smell.
Oh, is she farting a lot? If you go on, so it's YouTube. You can just tell everyone that she's farting a lot. It won't matter. It's okay.
So, so I have this aversion to dog pee. I can't stand the smell of it, and I think it's because when I was a kid, remember that upstairs. My mom would let those little dogs go upstairs and pee and poop in the middle room. And so once Tony left to college, my younger brother switched over to the other room, so that middle room was empty. And it was just like a graveyard for poop and pee. And so like those dogs would go upstairs and pee on my clothes.
Yeah.
And so I'd be at middle school and I'd smell something terrible. And I'm like, what is that smell? And it was dog pee on my clothes. And I was
that's
like,
traumatic.
It was traumatic.
Yeah.
And so I can't handle the smell of dog pee. And so my dogs, I think it's our tiny dog. I think he's got a little bladder. She takes him outside, and they're like, oh, my God, we got to get back. I wonder what she's doing inside. She might be giving everybody beef ribs. Let's get inside and figure out what's happening. And so they don't stay outside long enough to pee because she goes back in the house when she lets them out. So like they run outside, touch a blade of grass, and run back in.
Mm-hmm.
And so if she's not going to sit out there with them, they're not ever going to go to the bathroom. So I think in the middle of the night, our tiny, tiny dog that is the size of a small loaf of bread.
Right.
I think that dog is going somewhere in our room and peeing.
What's that dog's name?
Bo.
All right.
And so that dog's been hit by a car twice. I love that dog. The dog is my favorite. But I think he's peeing. And so the smell of pee has driven me out there. And I was like, honey, I can't sleep in here because it smells like dog urine.
How does she?
She's like, you're the only one who smells it. So now I'm getting punished for having a ridiculously high sense of smell, like world-class level smelling sensors.
That's a weird brag.
Yeah. And so anyways, I don't know what to do, but I can't sleep in there. So she ordered a black light. And so there's a black light.
Oh, now all your other stuff is going to get discovered.
you go
really been on the wall.
So you go through the room with a black light, and we can't find any pee in the master bedroom.
Huh.
But I smell it.
So you're just suggesting that your wife smells like dog piss.
So now I'm sleeping on the couch.
At least the dog's not pissing out on the couch.
But I'm sleeping on the couch. So our
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Because we do this with Bill Ghostbust and S. Murray. Dog diapers.
Yes.
We have a bunch of them because the other dogs won't pee inside. Maggie might rock a deuce inside, but it's just old little dog deuce. Like, gee, it, Maggie, and then you cleaned up. But piss is way worse than poop.
Yeah.
Right, unless it's diarrhea. So Bill's the one who's got the tiniest bladder. He's kind of a dick. So we have a bunch of diapers. So if he's inside, now if we take him outside and he goes outside and he pees, he doesn't have to wear a diaper. But if it's been like 4 hours and we're going to leave him out or whatever, we put a diaper on him, dude.
He doesn't try to take it off?
Sometimes he does, but he hangs in there pretty good because I think he's figured out, look, if I wear this diaper, I don't get crated when they leave.
Right. I think I want to start wearing a diaper.
It'd be nice.
Just casual.
You'd look good in a diaper.
I mean, it'd make my butt look better, and on top of that, just to be able the convenience of going when you need to go. Like I could be going right now.
Have you checked other brands to see which one you like the best?
All right, that's going to do it.
Oh, are we done?
For us.
Well, I thought there was other stuff that your wife was mad at you about. It's just those two things?
Just those two things.
Do you want me to help you get to the bottom of it?
You're just trying to get to her bottom.
Oh, I've been there.
Want to thank you guys for watching this. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends. Your friends are dying to know about this, and you're the only thing that's keeping them from knowing.
That's right.
Anything else?
No. I thought we would finish our beers.
Cheers.
We must have talked too much. Cheers, dog. I'm going to finish my beer. Crushable.
Peace.
Should we walk out of the frame?
Yeah.